Okay, so I'm going to be talking about the book Green Fairy by Kyell Gold. It was released in this part, 2012, and this is first published, I think, maybe second printing. Anyway, so it's 2012, and so it's about Sol, who's this Black Wolf teen, and uh, yeah, there's kind of bad stuff, like he's bullied at school, and actually, first off, forward, hearing people talk about this book, it was probably one of the latter Kyell Golds I picked up. Like, I got it a few years after it was even talked about, announced, or whatever. And one of the reasons is I always thought it was a hard sell. Like, whenever I heard people talk about it or mention it, it was really like it was really wishy-washy. Like, trying to describe the story, like, because now having read it, I can see how hard it is for some people to like, oh yeah, it's about this. Like, if you read the blurb on the back, um, it doesn't really say much. It's a lot of a setup, and even by the end of the book, it's weird. I want to read the sequels because I want to see where it's going. Not that there was much resolution towards the end. Um, so basically, it's about Sol, who's this black wolf, and he's having some trouble at school. He's not really part of the baseball team he's on. Like, not really, he's not really finding like a group he can really get along with like his friends at school. The only person he still like talks to and hands out is his friend Meg, who distances herself from him when they're at school. Like, they hang out and whatever, but it's more of a she refers to it as like a friendship of conveniences, but you can tell there's some form of general affection there because, like, they're both kind of outcast in this small town. Which it doesn't. I'm still getting used to the American small town. It's been hard for me to fathom in Australia, if you can't tell by my accent. So I'm looking at doing this because I like talking about books, and I find it hard to hang with people I see at a daily basis and talk to them about books. Because they're like, oh, I read like one or two books. I'm like, oh, God. So anyway, so I plan on doing this like a few different formats. So this format is like, it's been a few weeks since I've read the book, so my knowledge isn't like straight on par. Like, there'll probably be cuts where I flip through the book, find little things that I really want to mention, like cute little quips and words and whatever. And then there'll be video or discuss talks where I just finished reading the book. And I'm like, oh my god, I'll mention this, and I don't get to the heart of the book because I just finished reading it. And then there's reflections of books I've read ages ago, and I may or may not read them again before reading them, and then try to do like comparison. Um, and and one thing is there'll be probably a lot of spoilers because I'm one of those weird people where I some depends on what it is. Most of the time, I kind of go my way to like find spoilers. Like, sometimes when I watch movies, like, we start watching a movie and then I pull up like a Wikipedia page and read the plot synopsis so I know what's coming, because I find more enjoyment in the ride of the story rather than the twist at the end. Because I like seeing little things. Because I value my time, because I don't really have time to watch like 3 hour movies twice to see all the little things. I'm like, oh. And plus, because I play a lot of video games, read a lot of stories, watch a lot of movies, I kind of see a lot of the way things are going, like, anyway, like, because, I mean, there's so many bases of stories out there. And it's a really good twist, like the Lego movie. I don't think I could ever tell where that was going, but that was really cool. So anyway, Green Fairy, back to that. It is a good story. I did enjoy it. I would say it is one of those books that I wish I got it when it came out, and I also wish I read it when I got it, because I know it's been sitting in my collection for at least a few months. I think I bought it earlier this year or late last year, and yeah, it has quite a few good characters. I quite like Soul. Oh, yeah, I quite like Soul and a lot of the other main characters. So there's three perspectives. So there's Soul in the present day, and then he's reading a autobiography done by Drain Jean, this French chanots in 1900s France, might be late 1800s, like early 1900s France during the Moulin Rouge and the Montmartre, and he's in prison and he's writing um, letters to his father, or a book to his father to explain his innocence, and and Saul also has absence-induced hallucinations and dreams about another character, Nikki, who's a private, well, a dancer at the Moulin Rouge. And spoilers, there is a bit of unreliable narrator in terms of John's part. I'm probably going to pronounce that word so wrong. And yeah, I quite like unreliable narrator whenever it comes up, because I'm quite, believing of everything that every character says in the story, and it's always like fun, like, oh no way, you bastard, and yeah, and then Nikki, I've heard Kyell Gold talk about it recently, and I'm probably gonna get uh, the framings right. I think Soul is third person present tense. Nikki is first person present tense, and then I think John's like third person past tense. I probably got it wrong, but I mean, maybe I'll go edit that and like write it down right. I'll say it out right. And so Nikki's parts, I reckon, are the most interesting, because I always like the little descriptions and bits and part of the world. Um, and yeah, John's like, well, many the spoilers by the end of the book, like, I don't really like anything that John talked about, because it's like, it's all a bit skewed from his perspective. So it's like, can I like rely on any of his descriptions? Like, which isn't like a fault in the writing. It's like just how I perceive the characters. In terms of writing, I don't think I got lost, or like there's anything outrageously like dreadful that I can remember off the top of my head. Um, Not to say I'm like an editor. I'm more like talking about the story and whatever. And I'll go on towards the end. Actually, yeah, there's been in the end where like after Sol resolves the drama between, well, Nikki's ghost or spirit or something, he gets green eyes, and strangely everyone's okay with this. And I'm like, I mean, well, this is a fantasy book. I mean, no one has ghosts invading their personal life, but I mean, like, I still like that kind of basis in reality. I mean, they did mention, oh, I went to the doctor and the doctor said nothing's wrong. But, I mean, you still got green eyes. I think someone's going to be like, what do you have green eyes for those contacts? Or what? But then maybe I'm a teenager. I'll just get away with it. I don't know. And yeah, I guess that's the only thing that I didn't really gel with. By the end of it, there was plenty of resolution. Um, kind of. I mean, like, the resolution I want would leave no room for sequels, I guess. Well, I want to know, why are there spirits invading the personal lives of well, not just Soul, because in the later books it's the rest of his friends that they invade. Because the next one's uh, Red Devil, that's it, and it's some spirit invading Alexei, the Fox character friend that Soul hands her towards the end, and then the last one's Black Angel, I think, but yeah, I think it's Black Angel, where there's a spirit invading Meg, who's the emo otter girl, No, Goth. Sorry, I think like, the character will get cranky at that. And and yeah, like I mean, even if like the author Kyell Gold explained why there were spirits by the end of the first book, um, it would they could still have sequels, but then at the same time, like if he did, it would break like the fourth wall because it's a close perspective of Soul. Like I don't like Soul would have to have an incredible lot of foresight to know why the spirit's invading him, which is probably something that gets discovered later on. Um, Maybe it was in the drink. Probably not. Well, me no, like, that seems a bit cheap. It's probably something but much better than that. Um, Anything else? I No, I think that's it. I mean, maybe what I'd like to see from the later books, which Red Devil is out, and Black Angel's maybe coming out in or the latter part of next year or year after that. I'm not too sure on the release dates on that. And they're probably up on his website, or I mean, he's got quite a few other projects going on. Um, and yeah, no, yeah, like just continuing all the characters. Nothing really. Well, I mean, that's why I like his books. They're all about the characters. I don't think there's gonna be any like divulging like super plot mixing with something, which was always distracting. Um. Oh, actually, also another thing I like talking about is all like side stories and references, and people will mention like books and Green Fairy. So there's a maybe non-canon, I can't remember. There's a short story to do with Tarek, who's this jerk coyote guy, where he gets fucked by the police officers to get out of a parking ticket. And that's up on Kyell Gold's Fair Affinity, which I may link in the description, or just link in general. It's not too hard to Google for. Maybe I'll just write the title of the story. Um, there may be another short story in the universe. Well, the universe of the Green Fairy books. It's still generally set in his Forester universe, but I don't think you're gonna find like Deverly or Corey and Samaki having ghosts invade them too, and get multicolor Power Ranging eye colors to match, and then they save the day with the League of Canids. Which that could be interesting. And and yeah, I think that's it. Oh yeah, other times they mention it is in the Unsheathed podcast. Um, a few one of the live shows like FWA 2012, and then it might be like episodes 70 or 80 that they may mention it, or maybe before that. I may, if I ever get time, I may like go back and cross-reference the dates with the podcasts. Because I always find that quite interesting when I'm reading a book, or I'm gonna read a book, or I've read a book, and I hear people talk about it. Because I like all the background bits and stuff, like commentary. Well, commentary tracks on DVDs I don't watch because I'll take more time doing that. Um, but no, all those little commentary things about like books and stuff that writers have done. And I think that's pretty much it about Green Fairy. I, uh, Maybe I'll cut in little quips about like lines. Oh, there was some line that I really liked, and but at the end I'll probably cut it myself and read off little quips and lines I liked. Um, um, the next book I will do, I'm gonna have to do Summerhill, by Kevin Frame. Um, and I'm looking to do this like regularly. I don't think it'll take me too long to read a book, or I might read a few short stories and talk about those, because those are always cool, because you don't have to wait for a book to get to you, or purchase it online through like ebook reader at baddogbooks.com. If it's exclusively furry, I'll probably do like non-furry books, but I always find animal people quite very interesting, and all the little ticks about the world. that not just Kyell Gold does. I mean, there will probably be a lot of Kyell Gold books because he is the most prolific. But I always like the little other quips and stuff that other authors do, and they're the ones that I don't like. Like there's one short story in Fang, Volume 1, where I still don't get how that world works, which I will probably have to stomach and read, because I know I tried reading it like a second time and I just couldn't do it. But I'll have to stomach and read it, and maybe I'll talk about that, because that sounds kind of interesting. Maybe I'll learn how that works out. So, yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. It was pretty fun to talk about. And I'll catch you later. So, there's a little addendum. A few things I wanted to mention, and maybe add in. I might just cut this in. I've just ruined my train of thought. So, cover art by the lovely Rukis. I forgot to mention that. She is Rukis at For Affinity. Strangely and personally, I don't know what it is, but like her art doesn't really resonate with me. Like I really do like realistic fairy art, and I don't know what it is about her style. Maybe it's because I am terrible at telling any of the canids. Canids? That's it. Canids apart, and because they were so well done, they all look the same to me. Maybe that's it. And there's quite a few interior illustrations done by her. She is a lady. That I always find like those stuff is interesting to know. Some strangely. I think she has been on an Unsheathed podcast, and I think they did talk about Green Fairy, or at least her Red Lantern and Off the Beaten Path. I think that was out during the time of that podcast. It was some live show, maybe RFMC 2012. Some recently on the feed, which may hopefully never go down, but might. And oh yeah, there's a subplot I forgot to mention between Sol's internet boyfriend, and he's like, oh, I want to leave my town and go live with him, and we're gonna go move to Port City, which is I mean if I lived in America I would know what that, which is in Port City, which is a pseudo town in America. That if I knew about American cities, I would know where that is and know what it is representative of. Not that it really matters, but again, I find that stuff interesting. And yes, they want to move in, like have a new life, perfect. And towards the end of the book, he finds out that like he's got like a roommate kind of boyfriendish dude that his internet boyfriend fools around with, and then he finally like meets up because like the kid's getting worse and worse, and he says, "Just take me away." So, what's his name? Jerkface. Give me one moment. Carsey, that's it. Some weird name. Maybe like Carsey Jones or Carsey Cox. He is also a sheep dude. He'll probably get cranky because I call him a sheep. Maybe he's a ram. I don't know. He'll probably get cranky if you call him the wrong animal. And he is a douchebag. Spoilers. And he tries to take advantage of Sol, and then the Nikki spirit beats the shit out of him, and then he gets cranky and leaves. He's like, I wasted 4 hours of my life coming down for some stupid pup. And I'm like, okay, cool, see you later, bro. And well, that's not Sol's reaction. Sol's kind of a little shaken up and traumatized, but I'm like, yeah, get fucked, mate. And so I was like, yeah, because I never really liked him from the start. Like why would you make a wolf become a vegetarian, you jerk? Wolves eat meat. I'm totally with Sol's dad on that side. Like, just eat your damn meat, jerk. You're making yourself sick. And oh, that reminds me. There's a really cool line towards the end of the book where there's like Saul's at some like barbecue party, and there's a bunch of like wolf like canid siblings, and they're playing like a frisbee, and they're catching it with their teeth, and their mums are getting cranky at them. They're like, God gave you paws to use them, not your mouth. And I thought that was a pretty cool little thing. Um, the also the whole, because it's also baseball. Spoilers. A lot of Kyell Gold's contemporary writing has to do with sports. Well, published books mostly. And this one has a lot to do with baseball, which is really quite far from me to get the grips of. Like football, I can understand. I'm not really a sporty person to begin with, and American sports are hard for me to fathom sometimes because I am Australian. I live in Australia, and yeah, so baseball's a bit hard for me to understand because it's not here. You don't watch anything about it. I know there's diamonds and there's tees and there's strikes and a bat and a ball, and yeah. So when it talks about it, I kind of skim through it, but that's just me because it's baseball. Like I don't know, and so there's a bit of baseball, but it's the story parts still make sense. Like any good writer that's worth their salt. If you know what to suggest, like I'm not sold, but there's a lot of times when I was reading the book and I'm just like, God's sake, soul, just tell them to fuck off. Like swear words make everything better when everyone. Oh, spoilers. I swear a lot. That's just strangely in my vocabulary. So if you don't like swear words, it's a bit late now. No, I think that's it. Okay, cool. Vincent Van Gogh is a red fox. I forgot that was mentioned. I thought that was pretty cool. I remember laughing at it when I actually read it because like I had this very striking mental image of the part where it talked about the Vincent Van Gogh fox with his mutilated ear, and I think I spent a few minutes reading about Van Gogh after the fact. I think I read that someone said that he got lost the ear in a fight, but no, that's neither here or there.